You know, our firm, and particularly my talented colleague, Jack Murphy, we look for things that are down, out, and great or down, out, and good. And recently I got the idea of calling them dogs. Citicorp fits that definition. When the stock was 69, I think last August or so, they announced this massive buyback, and I think the earnings forecast, which is, you know, in the mid-5s, going the mid-6s, going the mid-7s, going the mid-8s, everybody thought that the stock selling with a book value of 72, which doesn't mean much to earnings, would go up significantly. Here it is, down, hovering around a very low price, and with a massive buyback. Our colleague tells us that they're going to buy back 13% of their stock, so that if earnings are just flat, it's a tremendous buffer, and they have the excess capital to do it. Moreover, they have quite a number of businesses, such as the consumer card business, which would command a multiple, and a lot of technology on a worldwide basis that's valuable. They've been selling some of their regional banks that are valuable. It just seems that it's been carried to a level that's too low. And I, for one, have been wrong about interest rates. I thought interest rates would be higher, and Citicorp is particularly well positioned to benefit from higher interest rates, but the earnings should be ahead anyway. So that's the thesis.
What about the leadership and the management? Because as you said, sort of last August, a big strategic review, people got pretty excited about it. The execution since then hasn't been as good as some would have liked, and Mr. Corbat also missed out on becoming chairman. Do you think it's in the right hands to move its valuation higher?
You know, I really think that they have done an excellent job from a management standpoint. They've made hard decisions. They've sold some businesses. They have this very, very large buyback. The big risk in Citicorp came out of the previous crash, where they had all this capital that requires so much capital from a regulatory standpoint. That's mostly been sold. So the management's done an excellent job of the most important thing, which is liquefying the bank. And they've made changes when Mr. Corbat wasn't satisfied with the particular people. So I think it's hard to fault the management at Citicorp.
Are you still a fan of GM? I think I remember last time you were on a few months ago, we talked about that. It's outperformed a little bit lately, but it's still down about 20% for the year.
Yeah. I guess the problem in the securities business is statistics, you know. GM made a deal with Alibaba that for automation, which was then a further investment by Honda, I believe, that showed about $8 for autonomous cars. And I think their EV cars are going to be even better. So I think that's another $8. They're ride-sharing this Mavens thing. There's an analyst on the street who thinks they're going to make several $billion. They have OnStar in the car that is a very valuable, has about $650 million of revenues. They own 9% of Lyft. You start to add up these numbers, and you get a very big percentage of a stock price, which is earning $6. And it's consistent with what I'm thinking in general. There are a lot of companies we follow where I think the earnings may be lower, interest rates may be higher, but the stock can appreciate significantly. I mean, there are several estimates, $60, $80, and $100 for the stock, but that is well known. I'm not saying anything that investment professionals don't know about GM. Mary Barra closed the Lordstown, is going to try to reemploy the people. The president came out to be concerned about that. China produces a significant part of the earnings. There is the opportunity in China if you're bullish. There is a real risk in China if you're bearish. They share the ownership with Shanghai Auto, but they claim they get a lot of technology and give a lot of technology. And you can X out China, you can X out the cycle, and you still come up with a stock where the pieces seem to be worth more than it's selling for.